Welcome to the Biz with Jono, and forgive my gravelly voice. You are watching an entertainment platform live from Australia, where we bring you some of the best independent artists and signed artists, singer-songwriters, producers, directors, models, drag queens from all across the globe. Tonight we're chatting to none other than Jolyon Petch, a Kiwi Aussie music producer, DJ extraordinaire and entertainer. We're going to be joined by Jolyon in just a few moments. But just a couple of facts, and we've got to get these right. So you might remember a song called Dreams, right? In 2021, this was a platinum selling single in Australia and gold selling in New Zealand, doing some absolutely incredible things. Jolyon is back with Starlee with a brand new track. And we're going to be talking about that track in just a few moments. Plus, the experience that Jolyon has had in the music industry. So without further ado, let's get Jolyon on live Instagram right now. And please forgive my gravelly voice. I do a lot of speaking and it's just got away with me. So here we go. Let's get Jolyon. Ooh, hello. Let us know where you're watching from or listening in from. Please welcome Jolyon Petch to the Biz with Jono. Here we go. Hey, Jolyon.
How are we doing?
I am so good. Sorry, I've got such a gravelly voice, so it looks or sounds like you've dialed a XXX number.
That's all right.
So it's not one of those shows. I'm actually talking to Jolyon Petch on the Biz with Jono. I'm so thrilled to have you on finally.
Thank you, mate. I am too. It's great to be here.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Now, we're chatting to you about your experience in the music industry and that huge single that you just, whipped out last year. And now you're back with another one. So we'll be chatting about that in a few moments. But we've got some questions in between just to get to know a little bit more about who you are as an artist, as a DJ, as a producer. So are you ready?
Let's get on with it, my man. Let's do it.
So take us back to that first moment, Jolyon, where you were. I assume maybe growing up in New Zealand or somewhere. How did you know you wanted to be in the music industry? What was that first experience like? Where was you? What were you doing? Were you singing? Were you DJing?
Well, I did a little bit of singing actually, but it was for a school play, and I never went down that route. I never thought I was that good of a singer. My mum might have thought that I was a good singer, but I didn't think I was. So I studied drums and piano for a few years, and then I joined a band, and I was the drummer in a band for a while. So I've kind of been in music probably, even younger, I guess. My mum bought like some kind of karaoke type of hi-fi unit back in the 80s, and wow. we played around with this, and so music's always been there. And my mum, she loves her music, so I guess I kind of got inspired from that. She's got better taste in music than my dad does. So, and she actually used to be a manager for a pop star in the 60s called Dinah Lee.
No way.
And so I did a few little music events, or would attend some stuff that Dinah was at, and that's kind of, I guess, how I got the music bug.
Bloody hell, that's a great story.
Well, okay. Actually, Dinah Lee also knocked the Beatles off the charts in the 60s, so in Australia. So yeah, so she was doing some stuff with some big Aussie singers at that time.
Wow. What is it about the music industry you love so much?
I don't know. I guess it's just the idea of being able to create something, and then as I'm a DJ, I'm able to go and perform that. And further down the line, I'd also like to kind of get into doing a bit more of a live kind of setting as well, like getting keyboards, like I've got keyboards behind me set up, and do some live stuff like that, and have guest vocalists come out and sing songs and all that kind of stuff, and turn it more into a live thing. But that's a little bit further down the road.
Nice. Now let's talk about the song. If you were anyone in the world, or in Australia or New Zealand at least, last year there was a song that kind of went viral. It went platinum selling here in Australia and it was it gold in New Zealand?
Oh,
And it was
it's
the
actually platinum in New Zealand now.
yes,
And
congrats!
about 3 weeks ago, we went double platinum in Australia.
Stop it.
So
So
yeah,
the
it's
song was great.
amazing the journey of that one.
What other accolades did that song sort of reach? What else did it receive?
Well,
There are so many, but I'm going to let you speak because
yeah, I mean, it was super crazy for me because, you know, I've been producing music for quite a few years, and this was the first one that just kind of escalated. And I guess it also helped having that TikTok sensation of what's his name, skating down the street, you know, doing his
yes,
cranberry. And I had no idea what TikTok was at that point, you know. I was just in COVID, and I was thinking, you know, what's a good song that I could remix and do it well for my club sets. And so, you know, I'm just producing music for my DJ sets.
yeah,
And then this one got signed, and then it just kind of went bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was like, wow, you know, this could actually turn into something bigger than what I've ever accomplished in my life. And yeah, basically, I got nominated for an ARIA. I got nominated for MTV Europe Music Awards as the best New Zealand artist. I didn't win any of them, but it's still being nominated was a highlight, especially when it's a cover song. It's not an original, you know. So respect to the guys that actually won those things for being an original song. But what else we get? We got #1 on the ARIA club charts for 7 weeks in a row, which was phenomenal. #2 on the Australian ARIA dance singles. #2 on the Australian ARIA singles chart. #16 on the actual top 50. I mean, I was competing with Ed Sheeran's and Drake and Justin Bieber and Bruno Mars, the biggest artists on the planet. And, you know, it was, as an independent artist, it's very difficult when you're competing with these guys, you know. And when on those ARIA charts, when I think I was at #16, and we're like, oh, we may crack the top 10 this week. And then Drake dropped his album, and like all of our songs, the album went into the top 50, and like most of them went into the top 10. So I was like, you just can't compete when you're up against these global superstars. But for an independent artist like myself, like, you know, those accolades were pretty massive. We also we're #1 in Shazam in Australia for about a month, beating Ed Sheeran, you know, the most Shazam song for a month. Shazam's most Shazam song in New Zealand for, I think, maybe 1 or 2 weeks.
I love it.
Yeah, it was absolutely crazy, you know. I just couldn't believe it. And also across the board on every radio station that plays that kind of style of music. The only station that never supported us was Triple J. But we still went double platinum, you know. So
Yeah.
just goes to show Triple J isn't always, you know, you don't need that support. But we had support from everyone else, and it was just amazing. No, I like Triple J, but, you know,
Yeah.
they did support the Kid Laroi and Justin Bieber one, but they never supported mine. But I guess I'm just more commercial than those guys, eh?
But it's a fantastic version, and it is, you know, it's just, you know, great vocals, it's greatly produced. It's just one of those tracks that kind of, I don't know, you just remember last year. It's just like that song. You're hearing it everywhere, and I loved it. So again, congratulations. It was so good. We're going to be talking about your new single though in a moment, and I keep calling it Touch. I mean, I've shortened it, but it's I Just Want Your Touch, isn't it?
I Just Want Your Touch. It actually originally was Touch,
Oh, okay.
but Starley actually has another single that's very close to that. So we're like,
Right.
yeah, we'll probably just extend it a little bit more, and it made sense.
I Just Want Your Touch, Jolyon. Okay. Now, all right, let's keep it PC. Now, I want to know, and I ask everybody this: what has been? I probably know the answer, but what has been your most pinch yourself moment? I mean, you've gone up against the likes of Ed Sheeran and stuff like that, but has there been a moment where you've gone, Jesus, like, wow, that this is real? Like, I'm recognized now.
Yeah, I mean, that whole period, because when Dreams was blowing up, I'm locked down in COVID, like most people in Victoria were. So, you know, it was pretty amazing that one of my songs just blew up big time like that. So, you know, there was a lot of pinch yourself moments. I think I guess, getting nominated by the ARIAs, you know, that was pretty special, and also the MTV nomination, you know, for a little Kiwi boy. That was pretty special. Having people like I would have the All Blacks because I'm a New Zealand rugby guy, and the All Blacks followed me and on Instagram, and even Michael Jackson's drummer and all these kind of bigger celebrity kind of people started following, which is quite cool, you know. So yeah, there's been a few pinch yourself moments. There was also at the end of the year they had the charts that came out for the radio. This is kind of all geeky chart stuff, but I love all this stuff. But they said that Dreams was actually the #1 most played Australian song on Australian radio, beating out Kid Laroi and Justin Bieber's massive global hit single, you know. So I guess that was pretty special. And actually overall on the charts, I was 3rd behind like Ed Sheeran and I think it might have been Glass Animals or something like that. So 3rd overall for the most played song on radio and the #1 most played Australian radio song on radio. So just crazy, man. Very crazy for a guy that was just producing club tracks to then jump to commercial radio like that.
Well, it just shows you how if you keep going, one track could just change your life. Hello there to everybody watching. I can see you commenting. LED talking about Oz Music. LED is a friend of mine that has a Oz. It's called Oz Now radio station. There's no presenters. There's no ads. It's just pure independent Australian music. So hi Ellie. Hello there to Kelly in the UK. Say hello to Jolly On, DJ, producer, artist extraordinaire. We're talking about his experience in the music industry. So if you've just joined, this is he, and you're on The Biz with Jono. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, next question. Oh, well, this is a good one. Who are some of the artists you've worked with, and how has that opened doors for you, if at all?
Man, I've worked with a lot. Internationally, well, because we'll start from New Zealand. So guys like Sam Hill, a close friend of mine, we actually did a big track from New Zealand in 2010 called Bliss, which was, are you familiar with the artist Dave Dobbin?
Yeah, well, I've heard of him.
Okay, so Dave Dobbin, massive pop star in New Zealand. So his very first band was called The Dudes. And one of my DJ friends was the lead singer from The Dudes, and we ended up doing this bootleg of the track to play at this beer fest, and it just blew up massively, and we ended up collaborating with them and released it as an official thing with them. So from the New Zealand side, that was like a massive thing. It went #2 on iTunes in New Zealand back then, and it's still, like, to this day on George FM in New Zealand, they are thrashing that song. So, and in their top 100 that they do every year, it's always still in there. So that was a highlight, working with all those guys. And then on Australia, I've worked with, lots of guys. Where do we start? John Course, we've done remix together. Andy Murphy, he's a collaborative partner that I've worked on with plenty of things. We've got a couple of Murph and Patch. We also have a tech house thing called Lost Fields. I've got a blank now.
But you've done a lot of remixes as well for a lot of things.
A lot of remixes, but internationally, I've worked with guys like Kid Cream, Sean Evans from Kosheen. Man, lots of guys. I've remixed for my latest remixes were official ones were for Syeda Garrett, who is the official backing vocalist for Michael Jackson. She actually sung a lot of songs of Michael. She wrote "Man in the Mirror" for Michael, so I actually got to remix her official massive single from the '80s that I loved. So Armin van Helden, Kid Cream, Junior Jack, the list goes on.
It's just, I mean, I'd rather you say it than me, because
Pet Shop Boys.
I was reading the list of people, and I was like, wow. So now I'm going to have to go back and look at some back catalog stuff as well. Like just start Googling and researching and downloading, let alone all the new stuff as well that I've been into. So, all right. How did the collaboration happen with Starlee? How did you first discover Starlee, and then how did you start on the new track?
So basically, I wrote a backing track and then pitched it to the record label, which then pitched out to multiple publishing houses which have different vocalists, and we were shopping for a hit top line, and we got probably about 10 or 15 came back, and I'm very selective about what it was not so much with who I work with, but it's more the melodies. I don't care what so much they're singing about, but that melody has to stick in your head. And everything came back, and it was okay. It's just kind of like just filler songs, you know. And I'm at that point in my career where I'm looking for hit songs, you know. And I got pitched this one vocal, and it didn't sound proper, like in the tone, and it was pitched down, the vocal, but automatically the melody got me, and so I went back and I was like, this is really good. Is it actually Starlee that's singing this? And they went, yeah, it is, but it's not at a proper tone. It's just like another song. So it was something that was on one of her old albums, or her last album, and it never made the cut, and it just happened to kind of work over my track. And then once Starlee came on board and I'd finished the track completely, I then sent it over to Starlee, and she re-sung it because the original song was slower. So then she re-sung it, so the timing and everything was perfect. And then, and I was just amazed that, you know, we could put the two of us together on the song as well, because obviously Starlee, you know, she's had a massive global hit, you know, 1 billion streams on Call on Me, plus not to mention all of her other singles, but, you know, 1 billion just on one song. Multiple platinums and golds in countries all around the world. So for someone that's just kind of starting out on the commercial scene, but obviously coming off a big track myself, you know, everyone kind of thought it was a match made in heaven. And I'm just so happy that Starlee jumped on, and we got to do this officially together, because I think it's a great song.
It is a great song, and have everyone dancing out in the clubs. Now we can get out dancing finally. That's something I probably have to stop doing, because the last couple of weekends, that's probably where my voice has gone.
That's why you're husky.
It is very husky, screaming at different shows I've been to, but I Just Want Your Touch is the brand new track. It's Jolly on Petch and Starlee. And if you've been living under a rock and don't know who these guys are, check out Dreams from last year. It went viral. It's massive. And this new song is set to have you dancing like this whole entire summer, because it's summer at the moment elsewhere in the world, but we're approaching spring. It's going to just get you dancing. Honestly, I was listening to it here in my living room before, and I shouldn't really say this, but I was dancing around in my jocks, basically. So there we go. Which is
well, I really appreciate your comments, because for me, I haven't released an original in so long.
Yeah.
And it's just such a good feeling to hear positive feedback for that, because obviously an original song is very personal as an artist, and you really want people to kind of gel with it. And I was talking to Starlee, and she said, you know, she wrote it about somebody and all that. But for me, when I heard it, it was like perfect, because we're coming out of lockdown, and you want the touch of others as well, you know, because we've been told by the government, no, you got to stay away from everybody. Yeah. So for me, it was personal in that way as well, you know.
Yeah. Even just, I want your touch, like, you know, just a shake of the hand or you know, like something. A hug. It does, it hits you. All right. What advice would you give to an independent artist looking to find the right producer?
Like a singer?
Yeah, so if they were a singer-songwriter and they were looking to find someone as a producer to produce their next track, what would you say to them? What would the best starting point be, maybe?
I guess find, you know, put a list together of your top 10 favorite producers. Put together a little kind of artist profile of your best songs. I mean, I get so many people hitting me up and they just like send me links without, you know, introductions and stuff like that. I let my management deal with all that now. But I think the best way, you know, because also for me, you know, when I'm pitching out for big vocalists that I want on tracks, you know, they're at that point of their career where they're wanting to be kind of collaborate with someone that's on their own level. Yeah. Not someone that's kind of coming up, you know, because they've already got, you know, hundreds of millions of streams. So they're going, or you know, and a big profile. So I think you've got to stand out from the rest, really, and you've got to put your best work forward. Just like, you know, lots of people will probably try and put all of their songs in, but it's like best to just put like 2, maybe maximum 3. But yeah, I mean, you really just got to kind of get your little portfolio together and then pitch it out to them, or find out who the management is, interact with these people, become like a bit of a kind of super fan, so they see that you're standing out from the rest of everybody. And then, you know, when you're doing things like this, you know, they're interacting and then asking questions and, you know, sending messages and all that kind of stuff. And then you're obviously at the top of the list there. So it's that kind of stuff, I think, is definitely will help somebody kind of get through that pile, because there's so many singers, so many producers, so many DJs. Everybody's trying to kind of get to the top of the pile, you know, and it's very difficult, and it's a very saturated market. So, but yeah, that's probably the best advice I can give.
Some great advice there from Jolyon, and you're absolutely right. You know, you've got to be forefront. You've got to be in the front of someone's mind. But you know, there is a fine line between that and stalking somebody. So
yes, exactly. You don't want to get on the stalk.
And be professional. You know, be proud of what you're submitting and your work, and believe in it, and send it to people. But also remember, it's a business, so you've got to carry yourself correctly. You know, don't just hound people all the time. Yeah, so great advice there from Jolyon. Why is independent music so important?
Well, I mean, you've got more creative. There's a more creative process that goes into the independent stuff. A lot of the major stuff is A&R'd, you know, and the independent stuff, you know, I have some record labels, and I was just releasing independent and doing pretty successful on my own. And then the bigger fish, they come to you. But you know, you have to have that independent stuff, because it's more of a creative output than some of what the majors are doing, you know. And yeah, it's very important to have the independent labels and independent musicians and all that type of stuff. You've got to have it, or else it's just this pop-friendly major world, and you don't want that. Yeah. And it must be like pop, but you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got to have that independent thing, because that's just a completely different creative source there. And like, look at Tones and I, you know, she is completely 100% independent. And I think that Dance Monkey was like 80 something weeks on #1 on the chart, or some ridiculous statistic. You know, she's totally independent, you know. And I think that's, you see even guys like, I think the Swedish House Mafia guys, you know, they were signed to majors, and then they're just like, oh, we're just going to go independent and do it now. And I guess when you get to that point and you've made the money and you've got that brand and you're out of your contracts, then it's like, okay, cool. Well, I'll start just doing it independent now. I don't need to split my money with the record label and then take whatever percentage you've agreed on, you know, and do it like that, like Prince, you know. And Prince is probably the best guy that you can kind of point to, who was totally independent after he got out of those deals.
Well, talking of Prince, and it's kind of like a remix of a song I toured with back in 2016, one of many 80s artists, but one called Martika, and Eminem sampled her song Toy Soldiers.
Oh, yeah.
Did you remember? Like,
yeah, yeah.
Right now, because my voice is effed. But sitting with her and talking about Prince, she had some great stuff, because he also produced a track with her called Love Thy Will Be Done, which is a great track. But she had some great stuff to say about Prince, and you just reminded me about that. Also, the sampling of her song. I don't know. She just popped into my head, so I was running with that. But she's got some great tracks too. Anyway, that's Martika. That's my little story.
Nice.
Now, who are you listening to now? That's an independent artist. Is there someone that you've been thinking, geez, they're good, like they're really good?
Yeah, there's actually a Melbourne singer that I've been following closely. I kind of picked up on her through COVID. Her name's Jess Bull, and she's got pretty good management because they keep getting her on all these tracks with like big international artists that are signed to Spinnin' Records and stuff like that. She's actually been signed to the label that signed Dreams as well. So maybe down the road we may do something together. But I'm definitely a big fan of hers, and she's got a very unique kind of indie type of voice as well. So down the line, perhaps there's also another singer in Sydney, Bianca. Really love what she's about. She's got fantastic, unique look, and I think she's almost like the Dua Lipa of Australia.
Wow.
Yeah, she's one to watch out for. So I mean, those are some independent artists. Although I think Jess is signed to Tomorrow, and that's an independent label. So she is an independent artist. Yeah.
Jess Ball. I'm gonna have a search.
She's great.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Now, this is a very serious question. If you were hosting a dinner party, what dish would you serve that would best reflect your personality?
Well, I am a bit of a Asian-inspired chef. So I like my chili stuff, but if it was for a dinner party, then you can't go crazy on that because not everyone likes chili. So I might just play it safe and do like my speciality, which is like either a sweet and sour chicken type thing, which I make completely from scratch, or like a Maggi sauce kind of soy based type of stir fry with just lots of veggies and maybe either prawns or chicken, something like that. But I'm definitely a Chinese guy, Chinese or Thai. You know, that's my speciality.
I like that. I'd probably say for me, lasagna. I'm layered, saucy, and cheesy. It's okay.
Well, I've been on the Atkins diet, so I can't eat my carbs. Yeah.
Well, you look
as much as I love my pasta, I can't eat the carbs at the moment.
Yeah. Well,
or just little bits.
I'll eat them for you.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I can't. I was going to make a joke that I can't do that on IGTV. I have a lot of chins right now, but we're working on that. Okay, Julian, where can people follow you and how can they support you?
You can follow me on Instagram here. You can follow me on Spotify. It's where you can hear all my music. All my big hits are all in streaming order. But I Just Want Your Touch is obviously my big one. I've got my website, jolienpetch.com. I'm on Facebook, DJ Jolien Petch. Twitter, YouTube. I have a YouTube account, and TikTok. I don't really use TikTok too much, but I am on TikTok. So I'm all over the internet.
You're all over the internet. Now, I want to know, where do you draw your inspiration from, though? A lot of artists, I mean, you mentioned a few 80s stars when you grew up. But where did you find that inspiration from in what you're doing now?
Yeah, I think what I'm doing at the moment, because I have a few different aliases that I do, and obviously with my Jolien alias, my main brand, I'm kind of going for that commercial dance pop style now, and I used to release a lot of different kind of houseier stuff and under that name, but obviously with success of Dreams, we're going for it, commercial dance, really aiming for radio and not so much club music, because obviously, but what I then do is I'll remix it, and we've got an amazing remix pack coming up for I Just Want Your Touch, which I'm really I'm excited to get that one out there as well. There's some fantastic remixes there, and definitely aimed more for Clubland as well.
Nice.
And then I have a side project called Electric Disco with all Ks, and that is definitely inspired from the 80s, from the 70s. And what I'll sometimes do is I'll do a Jolly and Petch remix of one of those. And so I'm actually working with some amazing producers doing kind of more collaborative stuff with that brand. One of them coming up is Dr. Packer, which will be a bit of fun getting that one out. And yeah, I'm inspired from the 80s sounds, and for my Jolyon thing, I'm definitely inspired from artists like Calvin Harris, David Guetta, Joel Corry, vocalists like Becky Hill, Bryn Christopher, Sigalo. I like his stuff as well. That feel good piano house kind of stuff. I mean, that's kind of always where I've been, and that's kind of where we're going.
Nice.
I can't wait for you guys. Once the Starlight, like, I've actually got my next single ready to go. Starlight.
Future projects you can chat about right now that's coming out that we can look out for.
Well, I can't say too much because we've only just released I Just Want Your Touch. Yeah. But I've pretty much finished, or 98% finished the follow-up single, and that one is incredible. Like I love the Starly one, but because I've just done this new one, and you're just going, I'll finish that. Like I just think my original stuff is really amazing. I've got great top liners, great singers, and the future's I just can't wait for people to hear my new material.
Well, we cannot wait. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Jolyon Petch. I just want your touch, Jolyon. The new track with Starly is out across all major platforms now. So just type in Jolyon Petch or Starly and all their work will come up. If you were living under a rock, like I said, last year, it went viral, but Dreams was another classic banger. Do not miss out and get following Jolyon right now here on Instagram, and you'll be updated with all that Jolyon's doing across the music industry. Fantastic DJ, music producer extraordinaire. I'm so privileged to have had you on the show. Thank you for putting up with my voice, but the show must go on, as they say. It's been an absolute pleasure. So thank you so much, Jolyon, for coming on, and best of luck with everything. And I hope that I see you around the traps. Or if you need a +1, I am a 40-year-old now. I'm behaved, a bit tamer. I'll be there to party.
Nice. Actually, thanks so much for having me.
I'm literally going to be there at the front, like, yeah.
Nice. That's what we like.
Let me know. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Jolyon Petch. And the crowd went wild. Mate, thank you so much for joining us, for giving up your time. And best for the next project. Cannot wait to hear about it, and hopefully get to come and meet you soon at some event around here in Melbourne.
Awesome. Thanks very much, matey. Have a good night, and
good night, John.
See you later, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Follow me on Spotify. Follow me on Instagram, and till next time.
Thanks, Jolyon.
Bye.
What a pleasure. Thank you so much, Jolyon Petch, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. This has been the Biz with Jono. It's not been a Triple X OnlyFans page. I do apologize about the voice, but you know what? The show must go on, like I said. Now, if you're an independent artist and you're still watching this, and you're based here in Melbourne, Victoria, then we have an event coming up called Exposure. It is a networking live music event held on the 19th of September at Kindred Band Room in Yarraville. Come along. There are industry professionals giving you advice on being an independent artist and also live music. And you get to network with loads of other independent artists. And I'll be there. And there'll be drinks. And yeah, it's going to be great. Anyway, I'm going to go. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. Get over to Jolyon Petch and follow him on all great platforms. I Just Want Your Touch is out now, and so is Dreams. And do you know what? Press that button. Go follow him. I'll see you all very soon. Thank you for joining me I'm going to go rest my voice now. Have a good evening. Have a good weekend. Much love. You've been watching The Biz with Jono. It's going to do that awkward thing now. I get close to the camera and say goodbye.